And here we go. Hello, everybody. So happy you're here. Welcome. Welcome to you and your life unlimited. So happy you're all here. Hey, Carrie. Good to see everybody. Awesome. I'm still getting music playing in my ear. You all probably can't hear it or see it anymore, but I'm jamming. Well, hello to you, to everybody that's here, to all of you that are going to be watching this later. Thank you for being here for You and Your Life Unlimited show. Today is a big one, and it's a huge important topic of being unlimited, because it's literally the law that states that you and your life are unlimited. I have been talking since the last couple of shows that all of my work for the past 20 plus years have been really about knowing, understanding, and applying the 7 essential laws. And today we're covering my favorite law, which is the law of sufficiency and abundance. When I found out about this law and I started to understand how to apply it, this is hands down the law that changed my life. Bigger than law of attraction, a bigger understanding and application as a deliberate creator when you're applying law of attraction, or excuse me, when you're applying law of sufficiency and abundance. As a matter of fact, when I used to coach, now I obviously do work with myself in the council, but when I was just doing coaching, when I first started my business full time, I asked all of my clients, what would you love to learn more about? And every single one of them said abundance. So I created my first group program called the Abundance Principle Coaching Program, which is now called From Lack to Abundance. Today, and the next couple of weeks, we are actually going to go over a lot of that information from that course, because this is so essential. So the 4th essential universal law is the law of sufficiency and abundance. The law of sufficiency and abundance is the awareness, the understanding, and the knowing that you have right now everything within you to create the life that you desire, to make your life a living dream. And through teaching this law for many, many years now, and of course through the Quantum Success Coaching Academy, where we certify law of attraction coaches, this single law has changed more lives and has more people feeling into their true nature, your true divine design, because abundance is part of our divine design. We live in a universe of abundance, but like myself, the majority of people learn to view life from scarcity, from an abundance of scarcity. And that was my deal. That was how I was raised. I was in a place that no matter what I did, no matter what I accomplished, no matter who I was with, no matter what I earned, achieved, whatever I knew, what I weighed, whatever it was, it was never enough. Because inside of me, I was so raised, and my parents' focus still is to this day, on what's not working, what doesn't feel good, what I don't want, the fear, the worry. And this is one of the biggest wounds that most humans have, is also feeling that you're not enough. It's something that I see with clients, from working with the council, from doing coaching, from being in this beautiful industry for well over 20 years now. It's the biggest wounds that humans have. And the interesting thing is that it's a lie. If we're here, we're enough. We're here. So we don't have to prove anything, right? We all have it to a certain degree. Mine was pretty extreme, and I'm grateful for that, because it was so painful that contrast gave me that awareness that being in lack feels really bad. And that's the entire thing you need to know about lack versus abundance. Lack always feels bad. I don't care who we are. When we are in worry, we don't feel good. When we're in fear, disappointment, we feel bad. And abundance always feels good. Why? Well, because our sufficiency, our enoughness comes from the divine. Our sufficiency comes from the universe. So when you look at nature, and I just moved into our new dream home, and we live in an area where I go out in the morning or at night with Jax, my dog, to take him for a potty walk, and the stars. Oh my gosh, they're just, every morning I feel like, okay, where's the first star? And I wish on it, right? Nature shows us that we are abundant. When you look at nature and the way our own, this amazing universe works, if you looked at all the stars in the sky, you can't even count all of them because there's an abundance. If you were to look at a forest, I used to live in a home in Montreal, and we had a really beautiful forest behind us. And that was my view. There's no way I could possibly count all the leaves that are on those trees. It's an abundant amount. If you go to, again, nature, if you go to the ocean, you cannot count all the different waves. There's just too many. They go in, they go out. There's so many going in and out at all at one time. If you looked at the span of what all the oceans look like, there's so much water, there is an abundance. So we can look at nature to see how our universe really is. And the thing is, though, is that most of us as humans have been programmed to believe in lack. And God love them, I just spent time with my parents over Thanksgiving. And it's funny because when I get around them, it's an opportunity now for me to check in and say, do I still believe that? And if it hooks me or I feel resistant to it, right? Where am I holding on to this belief? And because most things that come out of their mouths are about lack, about what's not working, or about what's frustrating, or about what they're worried about. And each and every single one of us was born into this abundant universe. But if we are born into this abundant universe, but we're programmed, we're trained, socialized, like literally inundated in lack, then we're out of believing in abundance. And it's sad because that's how most people are. When you connect truly with the truth of who you are and you get into alignment of the truth of abundance, things flow to you. That's why when any of us, they're universal laws. It's like I said on the very first show, it doesn't matter if you are living in Canada or living in Australia or living in South Africa, or if you are a certain religion, or if you are tall or short, or married or single, have kids or don't. Nothing, none of those circumstances, none of those little things that make our lives unique, those things don't matter in the sense because it's all universal. You apply this information and it will work for you. I've seen it with hundreds of thousands of people over the years. That's why when you apply the information that we're going to go over today and also in the next couple of shows, based on the Abundance Principle coaching program, you are going to see immediate shifts because you're back in alignment. You're back in alignment with well-being. You're back in alignment with that non-physical part of you that is always in abundance, never deviates. It's us. It's our attention, our focus that goes away from abundance and into lack. And we know this because we just don't feel good. But when we get back into that natural alignment with abundance, with that non-physical part of us, all things flow because it's law. So when we start to shift our mindset from lack to abundance, that's when everything starts to flow. And that's exciting. So the first thing to let in today, a nugget to take away, something to contemplate, is that there is an unlimited supply of every good and wonderful thing and experience. It exists. There's enough for every single person. There's always enough. There are enough of everything that you desire. We just bought into the lie that there's not enough. It's a lie. The lie is scarcity and limitation. It's the lie of lack. Now, I understand there exists evidence of lack in this on this planet, in this universe that we live in, from the 3D perspective, right? There's the polar opposite of abundance. We've all tasted it. We've all been there. We've all thought about it. We've all done that. We share that common human experience. We know, it's like that song from Four, I want to know what love is. Like, I know what lack is, but I also now know abundance because of that training in lack, because of the law of polarity, which we will definitely cover on one of these shows as well. So yes, you can go, oh, well, Christy, come on. There's evidence of lack. There's people that are hungry, and there's people that, are doing pretty despicable things because they're in lack, and people that are really out of alignment. Of course there is. There's always going to be evidence of polarity. But where you fall in your own spectrum, you don't have to be in lack, and you don't have to believe what you used to believe that makes you feel bad. Because again, the barometer is, do I feel good or do I feel bad? And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Lack is not the reality. And beliefs based in lack affect our ability to manifest our heart's desires, and to manifest it from a place of ease and effortlessness. Now, it doesn't mean we don't take action or make effort, but it doesn't feel like effort. We take action, we do things, but it flows. It feels good to do it. It doesn't feel like, oh God, I gotta do this, right? It just feels like a natural extension. This is why so many people struggle. That's why so many people find it difficult to create what they want. They're in a space of lack. And like I said, yes, there's evidence of lack in the 3D world. We're going to discuss that. But this lack mentality controls us by keeping us longing for what others have, or fighting to or be better than others, or comparing ourselves with others. One of the things to transformation is having awareness. It's the first step in any system of transformation. You have to have an awareness. If you've watched Watch Your Words, you can go to watchyourwords.com, all of those words. And I'm going to give a special bonus word today because my husband said it on Monday and I went, oh, that needs to be added to Watch Your Words. So I'm going to put it in my show on Thursday because that is based in lack. If you've watched Watch Your Words, there's 30 words and phrases that we don't want to say consistently. Why? Because all of those words and phrases are based in lack. So let me ask you a question. And this is not for you to obviously answer me back, but think about what, if any, aspect of your life do you feel bad in? Maybe it's you feel bad, or you feel like you struggle with money. Or maybe you feel bad or you struggle with getting clients, or struggle in your career space. Maybe you make great money, but you don't like what you do. You don't have passion for it. Maybe you struggle or feel bad in a certain relationship or relationships, or maybe it's in your own body. Where in your own life do you feel bad? In other words, where am I still programmed to believe in lack? And what do I need to do to program myself out of it? We talked about law of attraction a few shows ago. You can go back and listen to it. I'll continue to talk about law of attraction until my very last breath. If you are coming from a space that there's never enough or that I'm not enough, that's what we attract into our lives, because everything is vibration and lack is a very low vibration. If you are feeling you're not enough, unfortunately, that's what you create. It's like, I believe this, so therefore that belief is right. If I'm saying I'm not enough, I'm right. And the universe is going to support me in that belief. It's not true, but all of this energy, all of this resource, this source energy has to come through our own consciousness. And if all this power to create is filtered through a consciousness that says, nope, not enough, that's what we create. But here's the good news. If you start to shift your focus and you start to shift your consciousness, reminder, consciousness is the words that we say, the thoughts that we think, the feelings we feel or don't, perspectives and the beliefs that we have, and the actions that we take. If we feel, if we think, if we believe, if we know we are enough or that we have enough, the universe supports us in that. The evidence is made clear. If you want to narrow it down, like, and really drill down this law, I like to look at it as coming from 3 different buckets, right? This law is not just the abundance law. It is the sufficiency and abundance. Why is that? Well, I'll explain. Because the first bucket, if you will, is lack. That never feels good. Lack just doesn't feel good. Cliff Note version, lack feels bad. If you feel bad, you're in lack. Well, then what's the next bucket? You ask me, because let's get out of lack. The next bucket is satisfaction, fulfillment, sufficiency. It's enough. Now, let's talk about this little space of enough for a minute, because sufficiency doesn't go, wow, I'm so on the moon, excited. It's just, sometimes it's just a little step off of, I did feel bad. I don't feel bad anymore. I feel okay. And sometimes okay is good. It's better than feeling bad. Satisfaction, fulfillment doesn't feel bad. It starts the feeling good process, because that's the key. So the law of sufficiency and abundance, that sufficiency opens you up to abundance, because abundance is, it feels good. Whether it's an abundance of peace or tranquility, an abundance of success or love or support, when you are in overflow, you have so much. That's abundance. So again, from 3 different buckets, lack is insufficient. Then you have sufficiency, which is enough. And then all sufficiency. And when we are in the space of satisfaction, we're coming from that space. That's when more abundance, more good, more feeling good can flow to us. So the thing I see with most people, clients in the past, or even myself sometimes, I have to check in, is that if we see contrast of anything, something, and we see it as it currently is, instead of how we prefer it, it's going, all right, what is it that I do want? I'm noticing right now, this does not feel good. So what is it that I do want? And getting into that space of at least being satisfied with where we are now, and then so excited, looking forward, what you do want. It's bridging that gap between where we are and what we want to create. And there's always going to be a gap in anything. So to get comfortable in that gap and to feel the fulfillment energy in that gap. What do I mean by the gap? Well, here you are, you desire something. Do you have what you desire? No. So there's the gap. But it's the energy of fulfillment. It's the energy of having that bridges that gap. That's what we talked about, Council and I, in the Desire Factor book. It's a principle of having, and that fills up that gap, right? There's always going to be a gap. Whenever you get something, as an expanded growing being, you get something that you created, you then want to create something else. Have you ever noticed that? I'll use my relationship with my husband as an example. When I was single, I really wanted to have a partner. I wanted to create a partnership with a man that I felt so connected with in my heart and my soul. And that's what I desired. That was the gap. Single, I wanted to have a long-term, dedicated relationship. I wanted someone to share my history with, and that someone that could be a mirror to my history, a reflection, and me to his. And so for me, when I was single, I felt he was coming, right? I knew, that's part of my work, is I knew I connected with his soul. I was building a relationship with him long before he even came. And as soon as I met him, I was like, okay, let's go, right? We dated a very short period of time before I moved to Canada and moved in with him. And we were married literally within a year of knowing each other. And well, we did that, right? And then what else did we want to do? Well, we didn't want to be in the condo we were in anymore. We wanted to create a house. So here we are married. Now we create a house. And we manifested our first dream home together. And of course, after that, it was like, okay, we've got extra room. Let's create a baby, right? And then after that, we created another baby. And because we had need another baby, we needed a bigger house. So we got the second dream home house with another room. Expansive, expansive. Now I'm in the biggest dream house of my life and the biggest space of satisfaction, but I'm still excited for more. Because you want something doesn't mean that you're wanting it from a space of lack. I remember having this conversation about getting a dog with my husband. And the kids and I were like, we want a dog. Jax just woke up hearing himself. And he told me, why do you want a dog? Things are awesome. Why do we need more? And I told him, I agree. Things are awesome. I'm so satisfied. I'm not wanting to get a dog because I'm not satisfied, but I feel that expansiveness to get a dog. I feel like the dog is going to add more fun, more play, more love. And so do the boys. And I explained to him the difference between wanting a dog or anything else for that matter, from a place of, I'm not happy, I'm not satisfied, this is not enough, versus I'm totally satisfied. And wow, that would add so much more. Just because you're satisfied doesn't mean you don't want to continue to create and you have other desires or other dreams or goals. And the reason is because we are creative, expanded beings. We always, that divine, that energy, it's as natural to create. It wants to create. We're creative beings. If you're coming from a place of, wow, this is enough right now. My relationship is enough. My kids are enough. This isn't, what I have is enough, but I'm excited about what else is coming down the pipe. If you're in that space, you're in the perfect place to create more of abundance. If you're in a place of feeling negative emotion or lower level emotion of not being satisfied, not feeling fulfilled, then you're coming from a lack mentality, and you're going to continue to attract no matter what you go grab after. Oh, I'm unsatisfied. Let me go get a dog. Somehow that dog, I've done that before too. That dog will have boo-boos and issues and this and that. And if you're coming from lack, whatever you reach to go grab to fill up your bucket, you're coming from the place of lack. These things can't fulfill us. We have to be fulfilled from within. Jax is the perfect dog for us. I couldn't be more satisfied with Jax as a dog. And by the way, my husband is absolutely bonkers for this dog. So it's an opportunity to say, see, you are happy and satisfied and you've got this dog. And now, right now, what you feel is more abundance and more love, right? If you are feeling dissatisfied, feeling not fulfilled at all, then you're coming from lack, and you're going to continue to attract more lack to you because that's how the universe works. So a powerful question that I ask myself when I find myself looping or my clients were looping, as I call it, when is it going to be enough? When are you going to be enough? What's the idea that you're telling yourself? What's that lie? That I'll finally feel fulfilled when I have my size 4 body, or that I'll finally be fulfilled when I get married, or when I have a kid, or when my business is at this level, or because there's always going to be more stuff. And as long as we're coming from the undercurrent energy of lack and not enough, again, no matter what goal we hit, been there, done that, it's not going to satisfy us. Why? Because we're not in the energy of being satisfied. We're in the energy of dissatisfaction. So whatever, you might, new car, for example, woo, for a minute until you're not satisfied again. So when is your weight going to be enough? The health of your body. When are your children going to be enough? When are you going to feel satisfied? It's when, what? These are when, what are you telling yourself? When are you going to be satisfied? We have a tendency of looking outside of ourselves at circumstances, at situations to become more than we are. But then we're not in the now appreciating what we have. We're not coming from that space of abundance. And when you come from that place of feeling that everything in your life right now is enough, is sufficient, it doesn't mean they have to be over the moon excited, but at least find that fulfillment, looking for the positive aspects. That's when you're going to know great peace. And it's in that moment that you'll be coming from abundance. So when you can feel gratitude for what you currently have in your life, but at the same time get excited for all the things that you desire to manifest, that's when you are in abundance. And that's the perfect formula for manifesting what you want. So gratitude gets us there. Positive aspects gets us there. I could go on, and I know I'm right about that time. So I just want to say one last thing. If that happens, that's a word that we want to change. Because a lot of time, if the house sells, why wouldn't the house sell? Shift your ifs that have question marks into, wouldn't it be nice if? Change them, because that will get you into the space of abundance. Awesome. Enjoy playing with the sufficiency and abundance law.